Today we're going to take a look at the Puma Magnify Nitro 3, which is $160. It's available now. It's the same 40-30 stack height as before. It gets a brand new 100% PEBA foam midsole. It actually loses some weight and comes down to 9.28 ounces, 260 grams, my US 8.5, so about 13 grams lower than before. It gets a new anatomical fit and last from Puma. And it is one fine big shoe. Stay tuned as I give you my impressions on fit, ride, and some comparisons from a run here in the heat in New Hampshire. Okay, we're out for my first run in the Magnify Nitro 3 from Puma. This is a max cushion shoe, but not a super max at 40-30. Let's talk a little bit about the upper. It's a kind of standard engineered mesh. It's 78 degrees Fahrenheit, 25 degrees Celsius right now. Fairly warm upper, warmer than, say, compared to the Wave Rider 29 I ran yesterday. Fairly similar stats, a little bit lower stack, but should be fine as far as breathability. The fit is superb here, though. We have a really stout heel counter that doesn't kind of overdo it, rigid. Let's see, what do we have going over? Oh, that's a tanker that probably was involved in the activities in Iran. Okay, so lace up super easy here. You can see just very good. Not a padded tongue, but very comfortable. There's a gusset in the tongue. Midfoot is relatively wide, but well held. Toe box is moderately broad. You might say a bit pointy, but the length is perfect. Right before the thicker toe bumper, we've got the full tongue. A few quick first comments about the ride. We've got an all supercritical PEBA foam. They still call it nitro, so it isn't a nitrogen infused EVA. It feels very energetic. But one thing I'm noticing right away, which is super nice, is that big Puma grip outsole provides some response. So this is a relatively soft ride with quite a bit of pop for such a big shoe. There's some flexibility already. I'm going to keep going. I'll give you more comments later. Okay, let's talk about the ride a little bit more. So this is a PEBA blend or PEBA midsole, but it feels quite different than, say, Nike Zoom X and the Vomero 18. It's definitely bouncier. Of course, the Vomero has a layer of Cushlon below, but this is a real bouncy midsole. It's not overly soft. It's not mushy. As I said a little earlier, that outsole, the Puma grip, and there's a lot of it, helps provide the response and some stability. This is a neutral shoe, but relatively stable. Not the widest space of any kind of max cushion shoe, and I like that. I like a little more kind of agility, so I tend to heel strike, so I don't like any bottom back weighted. Not so here. Can already feel the flex up front. I'm already thinking definitely daily trainer, especially if you're the kind of person that likes a decent amount of cushion. At 40-30, it's for these days, it isn't really super max, like for example the Glycerin Max or even the Vomero 18 might be. I'm kind of liking stopping it at 40, because after 40 millimeters you need to either have the rocker. I find the one in the Glycerin Max kind of awkward, or a plate. So 40 is a nice sweet spot for me anyway, in terms of a shoe. So far, absolutely daily trainer. If you want an energetic, very well cushioned ride, long run shoe. I would say it's also a great shoe for the beginner runner who doesn't need a lot of pronation control. You got the lightweight, you got plenty of cushion, and a fun ride. The fun part is really noticeable here. This new foam, those that remember kind of the earlier nitro foams from Puma, I think this one is superior because it seems to react a little quicker, but with still that kind of bouncy spring. So it's PEBA. They're doing a really good job with that. So let's keep going. A few other comparisons immediately coming to mind, direct comparisons. Supernova Prima from Adidas, a bit more stable, a bit firmer. If you need a bit of pronation control, maybe you go that one. The Crosstown rivals. Diadora, Atmos Star, very close comparison. Atmos Star has softer bouncer, supercritical foam, not quite as stable, not quite as quick reacting, a bit more kind of recovery run shoe for me. Then this one feels more daily training. Glycerin Max, more stack height. I have a hard time with that one. Just that front rocker really kind of limits it to, for me, daily training paces, and it's kind of big for that. Let's see, I mentioned Vomero 18. This is a livelier ride, a bit less stack height, but this is way livelier, more agile feeling. It's warm, not as warm as yesterday where it was 10 degrees warmer. I mentioned the upper and breathability. Yeah, again, not quite as good as the Wave Rider yesterday. It was much warmer, but still not bad for this kind of heat. I don't really worry about that too much unless it's like overwhelmingly bad, and this isn't. So I'm going to keep going. I'm coming up to the harbor here, and we'll talk to you later. So I mentioned the Wave Rider 29 before. Very, very similar foam feel. The big difference, and weight, I think the Wave Rider is lighter at a mere 11 grams lighter and a bit lower stack. The main difference is the Wave Rider has the wave plate kind of from the midfoot back. It's a bit more stable in terms of the arch. It has a great outsole too, but here I kind of prefer having the support at the outsole level rather than higher up in the shoe. But they're both really good. Similar fitting uppers, but I said Wave Rider more breathable. Then let's see what all else. There's so many great shoes this year. I'll probably think of a few more. High tide. Okay, look at the harbor. High tide. So one thing I gotta say is there's also a really nice roll forward and flexibility. Very easy to turn over this shoe. And I started pretty slow. I'm 9 minute, 10, 9, 10, 9:20 pace now. And I'm just rolling along beautifully because there's no plate, but sufficient kind of stack and structure from the outsole to give it enough kind of geometry. So what you notice here is that high 10 millimeter drop plus the flexibility and the energetic soft foam really rolls you forward nicely for such a big shoe. It's really, really special. It's not a racer, it's for sure a trainer, but it's very agile for such a big shoe. Thank you very much for watching. So the Magnify Nitro 3 is available now, $160. It is one fine unplated max cushion trainer with an agile, friendly ride, a great upper, and it moves along. So at 40-30 stack height and only 9.28 ounces, 263 grams, my US 8.5. It is also relatively light. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great run.